And I've seen lots of things, but except for a one currency, a one passport, a border of South Africa, a one army, towards one common language, one stock exchange. No, basic things, which for me would speak of Africa moving away from a country to become a continent that is united. Educated young people like yourselves, therefore, you need to look at some of the most successful countries in the world and then benchmark yourself as Africans. And you will discover that most successful countries in the world are not democratic. Can I start there? The most uncomfortable. They are not democratic. Singapore, which was poor 30 years ago, is now on top of the list. And what method do they use? They use meritocracy. Get the best person for the job. Forget about this rubbish of democracy. The only thing democracy can do is to bring new foreign behavioral patterns of the West, except to change the master. We hear rights and rights and rights and rights. They have all sorts of rights, except the rights of the local people to have access to their own economy, except for them to have the right to their own land, except for them to have the right to their own self-determination. Therefore, you fantasize about democracy, China will look you in the face and say, it doesn't work here. Your things in America don't work here. And we're going to do things our way. North Korea, the same thing. When last did you hear of elections in Switzerland? Or in Norway? When last did you hear of elections in Germany? You know, people have better things to do. Now I know that poverty is entertainment for the poor. Particularly politics. Politics is entertainment for the poor. Because rich countries have no time for politics. Because the roads are working, the hospitals are working, their TVs are working, electricity is on. You want to pay for what? But poor people. So I want to share something with you that will mess up your brains. Africa is not developing. Because if African leaders fix the problems, their function will not be relevant. So you must keep problems so that you use the problems to campaign. You cannot solve the problems. Because if you solve everything, then there's nothing to campaign for. There must be no water. There must be no roads. There must be no this, so that in the next election say, we are going to bring you roads. We are going to. And that's the last time you hear them talk about we are going to. Immediately after that, they disappear your religion until the next 5 years again. I'm not here to give you a political conversation. I think there are more able people who are in the room. And by the way, thank you and welcome and greetings to all the dignitaries that are in the house. I want to take you upon your word. Another way of making this happen is in the various ways of making change. There is negotiations, which I think you're doing a good job in that direction. There's intergovernmental conversations, well done on that also. There is a campaigning, various platforms, well done. But from where I'm coming from, the revolutionary side, there's another side also. I'll give you two methods that will work very fast. Number one, as African Union, we make a declaration that let every African ban their passport immediately. We can make, South Africa did it. That's how South Africa was liberated. They just set up a date to ban all the ID cards. They made a big fire and they threw the ID card right there. The following day, the government had to think of a new way of dealing with people that are IDless. So we can ban all our passports from this conference and go back to the airport. And I want to see what the Zambian government will do with a bunch of people that don't have passports. Well, now the problem, we are being patient and 6 years later. And there's no movement. So we can either ban the passports and we simply declare ourselves non-country citizens, but African citizens. Method number two will be to identify all the people that are more passionate towards the agenda and make the passports available to us immediately. And let us start testing the water. We have two passports. I have my African passport and I'll show them my African passport. If they agree, hallelujah. If they refuse, then I can pull out the one that they want. So we begin to mobilize. It is a level. There must be a pressure point somewhere where they must know that these things are now there. They're not there. This thing of putting dates, we always do 2025, 2030, 2063, and when we get there, they move the goalposts. So some of us are particularly tired. I traveled quite extensively. I think I've finished more than 5 passports so far, and half of those pages are visas, even African countries. And I think it's high time we will not leave this legacy of poverty and borders to our children. Before I die, I will guarantee we will not leave this legacy of borders and people living in silos and etc. Let me share with you a simple secret, which some of you may not be aware of. And I want to move into a lecture, by the way, small little lecture, and I will break the protocols of time, but I will be trying to be precise. Are you aware that China is capable of abusing Zambia? Ask me why. What's the population here? 20 million. An economy of 1.2 billion people, which is the Chinese. Which is your budget for the next 35 years? That country comes to 20 million people.
Recording in progress.
With a budget which can take you 35 to 40 years to accomplish. Is that a relationship? Is that a relationship normal? There's nothing you can do. They will overpower you at entrance. They can buy your government, they can buy your income, they will tell you how much is Zambia as a whole. Give us the value. I'm not joking. This is exactly what we're going through. How much is your value? Okay, so much money per square meter, so much money per square meter. Okay, here's your money. All Zambians jumping to the Kafue. They can afford it. But tell me, if China should come to Africa, and China with 1.2 billion people finds Africa spending on 1.9 billion people, what kind of negotiation goes between countries that are beginning to look at each other as superpowers? This is what local politics does to young Africans. You value your country so much, and you forget that in our African culture, when you have a group, is the way you take grass and you bind it together so that you can sweep our houses. You know that grass you bind together? If you take one piece of grass, men will even use it as toothpicks. Very small, you can break it with the smallest fingers and clean up it. But yeah, put those things together and try and break it. No, you can't. Forget it. Why? Because even the smallest and the weakest become stronger in the group. How long will it take us to tell Botswana and South Africa and Rwanda and Kenya, you may look strong as African countries, you may be patted on the back by the Europeans. Yeah, you're doing fine. You are doing very well. You're not like them. You're not like Congo. You're doing very well. You forget that even in your seeming strength, you are still weaker to the superpowers. What do you call a superpower? America is a superpower because they were able to dissolve 52 states. 52 states to make the United States of Africa. That's why there's that American flag.